Oh, it was harder than last week. How's it possible? How's it possible?
And we are back for another episode of Dead Last Cycling. This week's race was once again horrendous, but in a fun way. And by the end of it, I nearly needed a wheelchair to get me out of my garage. The course, imaginatively named Hilly Route Reverse, doesn't look too bad at first glance, but the big selection point of the day, which also has a very imaginative name, Hilly Reverse, starts with such a savage kick that the easier second part of the climb has to be ridden with barely functioning legs. And because this is a 2-lap race, you have to find a way to get those legs working again to do it all a second time.
It's a hard start, for me at least. Trying to punch into these rollers. Ride that speed. Knackered already.
My strategy for today was to wheel sulk as much as I could. These little rollers and short kicks are fast enough and short enough that it's unlikely for groups to split apart on them, especially in the first lap. I needed to save as many precious watts and matches as possible to spend them where it really counts. But still, sitting all the way at the back feels like risky business.
Got to be really careful here. I want to save as much energy as possible, but it's really dicey sitting like 60th, 50th wheel. All it takes is one bloke in front of me to make a mistake, and it's good night, Irene, because there's no jumping across at these speeds. I think when we get to the big blob, whatever that is, I guess the reverse of Hilly Route, we've got to move up. Got to hit the start of it hard, draft the middle, and then hit the end hard. I have gambled today. I'm looking like I might be the only person that's gambled, or one of. I've gone with disc wheels. I'm starting to think it was stupid.
Calculated risk, gamble, or hubris. Only time will tell. My logic was that since the big challenge of the day, apart from its vertical start, was actually going to be ridden pretty quickly, that disc wheels might actually be the right move, especially considering that the finish would be a lightning fast sprint off the back of a big descent. But to make that gamble pay off, I'd have to find some way to survive that long.
So here we go. Leading to the first real test of the day. We've got this twice. The second time, I really don't know, can I survive it or not? It's different gravy. Last week it's short and punchy. I can do short and punchy. This is sustained. I don't know if I've got the minerals.
Somewhat sustained at least, but still, when you look at the overall profile, it is a climb you can ride in a relatively punchy manner. Now, I had wanted to move up for the first sharp ramp, but in all the excitement, forgot to actually do it. So I entered this one much further back than I'd have liked, but still, it was lap 1, I was fresh, no need to hit the panic button just yet.
Oh, it's steep. Oh, it's hard. Come on.
The first part of the first real test of the day had been ticked off, but this had been ridden way harder than I thought it would on lap 1, and I had to go way deeper than I thought I'd need to.
That was a minute at 400 watts. That's not that far off my PR. Oh man, that hurt. Gotta stick with the pedals, get in the draft. Oh, that hurt. Come on, legs, shut up.
This felt genuinely bad, and I was close to my limit just to hold position in the peloton, which was completely stretched out down the road.
Disc wheels, huge mistake. Arrogance.
Self-doubt was starting to creep in way earlier than usual. In reality, I knew that the disc wheels made very little difference in whether I could make this selection with how short the actual climbing was, but still, when you think you've made a mistake with your setup, it can really take your head out of the game if you're not careful.
One more big punch. Come on.
And if you're going to race this route yourself, that's one key thing to look out for. This climb ends with an unmarked ramp. It's nothing special, only 3% or so, but with most people already fried from the rest of the effort, if the group strings out, you can easily be caught behind a split if you don't punch up to the banner, and you can forget about catching up on the descent that follows.
Oh guys, I know I always say it, that I'm dead, that I'm gone, but that was 290 for 4 minutes. My lifetime PR is only 10 watts more than that, and that includes an all-out sprint finish. Oh. That was hard. That was really hard for me. Oh man. I had a wisdom tooth out last week. Maybe I blame that.
Another tip, it is always good to have a preloaded excuse in your back pocket for why your race didn't go to plan. Tooth extraction, stub toe, splinter in your finger, whatever you've got, use it early and use it often.
I gotta ride super risky on this lap to make it over, I think.
Risky because sitting deep in the peloton over rolly terrain when everyone already has a hard effort in their legs can very easily see you caught behind a split. We still had over 40 riders with us, but that was sure to reduce before we got close to the finish line. Usually, I try to move myself up on rolling terrain like this by just squeezing on the pedals before the gradient kicks up, but that was proving harder than normal today.
So hard to move up in this category because everybody races it smart. Oh, my legs feel like lead. Come on.
I was in the struggle in a serious way, and for the rest of the lap, it felt like I was a boxer stuck on the ropes getting pummeled with the occasional desperate counterpunch thrown every time I somehow managed to catch half a breath. But no matter what, I wasn't going to get shaken off before the second time up Hilly Route Reverse, and at this point, I was treating that as a finish line. Spend whatever I had to make it over. I didn't care if I had anything left for the sprint afterwards.
One more bump, and then the big one. Oh man, that looks scary. Pace is picking up. My voice is going, so we know I'm deep.
My vocal cords tightening up well before we got to the final climb was not a good sign, but thankfully I don't pedal with them, although my legs were threatening to tighten up as well.
I think we got one little punch here, and then it's the battle for position for the leg snapper.
It was almost go time. I needed to lock in, so much so that I decided it was a good idea to change song, get some proper motivation on for the suffering, except I managed to press the wrong button and minimise Zwift. Not once.
Oh, I minimised. No. That was a disaster.
But twice.
Minimised again.
Not exactly the ideal start to what I was considering the finish line, but luckily the group wasn't strung out and we hit the lower slopes in a nice comfortable blob. I settled in for yet another all-out sufferfest, and I was determined to do whatever I needed to stick with the front group, at least up the first part of the climb, but when someone shot miles off the front, I had no illusions whatsoever about chasing him down.
That guy's gone.
I was on my limit. Heart rate in the high 170s, which for me is well into the danger zone. The peloton was lined out with gaps opening all over the road, and my legs were begging for mercy, but if I gave in to them for even a second, I'd find myself caught behind a split and my race would be over.
I gotta get on that wheel!
I caught just enough of the draft that I was able to punch as the gradient kicked back up and slide back into the lead group. Another small bunch was able to come across shortly after, and our 45-man group from the start of the lap was down to around 15 contenders.
My legs are dead. I can barely pedal.
Even though there was only one little rise left before the descent, I really didn't know if I had it in me to stay on over the top. I just had to get my head down and put out whatever watts I could and hope for the best. That banner meant one very important thing. Another Cat B race survived until the end. Anything from here was a bonus, and whether I'd even be able to sprint was in serious doubt.
I'm gonna pass out. Oh, my vision's going.
Vision started to blur, ears ringing, but hey, I had at least a kilometre to recover before the sprint, plenty of time. I knew that with how my legs felt, there was no way I'd be able to spike massive numbers. I'd need to surf the wheels, slowly ramp things up before surging late to try to go over the top of anyone that was fading. But whatever the result, we'd made it to another sprint finish.
Oh my God, I can't stand. I can't stand. Ah, Oh, fourth again. Oh, it was harder than last week. How's it possible? How's it possible? I can't believe I came fourth. I was so empty. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could like, comment, or subscribe, I'd appreciate that too. And provided I survive this, I will see you guys next week. Thanks a lot.